right, we're recording. Hey guys, how are you? I am here to talk about my labor and delivery video. I have my notes here, okay? And let's get to it. It was a bit traumatic, but that's okay. No, it wasn't okay then, but it's okay now. So, I went to the hospital about a week, maybe a little over a week before I actually gave birth to the twins. One night I had a very sharp pain, a pain to where, no, let's start a month ago. So a month before I even gave birth to the twins, I had to go to the hospital just due to being so uncomfortable. At that time, I felt like I was just so big. I did not have anywhere to grow. I was struggling, honestly. It was just too much baby, too much everything at this point. But then I went to the hospital in October, and they monitored me. They said, okay, yeah, you're not dilated. You just may be having some ligament pains or whatever kind of pains. I just felt like I was struggling so hard. Then I would say, I think I was like right at 30 weeks. Yeah, 30 weeks. And my doctor originally wanted me to get to 37 weeks, even with twins. And I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna happen, but hey, let's get there. So after that, I went home. I was okay. I was able to take it easy at work. Usually I walk and go get the kids from their classes to talk to them. But that time, listen, I was going, using my phone in the office and like, please send whoever down to my office. I just couldn't do it, honestly. And so a month later, one night, I think it was around November 18th or 19th, we were asleep and I felt the worst pain I have ever felt in my life. When I say the worst pain, I'm not lying. So of course I've been through labor before, with Madison, but this was something else, y'all. Like, it was such a sharp pain where I had to like roll out of the bed and get on my knees because I could not breathe. It literally took the wind out of me. And so at that time I was like, okay, I can't deal with another one of those. Please, Lord, don't let me have another one of those. So I woke my fiance up and I was like, okay, please, let's call my doctor. Let's call my doctor because I could not breathe. And so doctor was like, okay, yeah, you need to come on in. I was 33 weeks at that time. And so I got to the hospital. My doctor was like, girl, you're trying to have these babies. I'm trying to keep these babies in just for a little bit longer. And I'm like, I can't take it. Like, are you kidding me? I cannot. That was so hard. So what we agreed on was for me to get on magnesium. So magnesium is a medication to where it kind of stops the contractions, because at that time I did start contracting. I was only like a centimeter though, 1 centimeter dilated, which is nothing, okay? You could be 1 centimeter for a long time. So I started the magnesium. So before I started the magnesium, they were like, okay, well, you need to eat something now because you're not going to be able to eat after we start this IV drip. And so I was like, okay. So my fiance went down, got me some breakfast or whatever it was. I ate that, and after that they started the drip. Now I was still confused on why I was not going to be able to eat and things like that, but I quickly found out. So a side effect of magnesium is it stops you from being able to like swallow. So I don't know if what they call it. You nurses know what I'm saying. So basically you can aspirate. That's what it is. You can aspirate if you are laying down or trying to eat or trying to swallow it. You just are not able to. So I found myself like the next day, so my contractions stopped. I was still on the magnesium. The next day I found myself having a hard time swallowing, and I hate that feeling. Like, I need to be able to swallow my spit. Like, I'm not spitting out in a cup. I'm not doing any of that. I need to be able to swallow. And so I was like, okay, let's just try to like wean the magnesium off because I just didn't like how it was having me feel. And I wanted to see if I can just like be calm and not contract. And when they start winging me off, I couldn't do it. Like, it was really bad. So they started another medication to see if they can stop the contractions as well. So during that time, the contractions were literally like I was in labor, but my water hadn't broke at the time or anything like that. So I stayed in the hospital. Fast forward to the following week, they were like, over the weekend, they were like, well, you're doing really good, which I felt really good as well. They were like, well, hopefully by Monday, we'll be able to let you go home, Monday or Tuesday. So that Sunday night going into Monday, I felt okay. They were like, okay, yeah, I think doctor is gonna allow you to go home tomorrow. Okay, great. So that night, I woke up out of the blue at that night, and I needed to go to the bathroom. As soon as I stood up out the hospital bed, my water broke. Okay, I did not know what was going on. It was the craziest thing. So I ran in the bathroom, and I sat on the toilet because it was still leaking. And so I pulled the little nurse help thing nurse help thing, and she quickly came in. She was like, yep, yeah, you're not going home, Fred. So after that, my doctor came in. He was like, well, yeah, we tried as hard as we could. I was 34 weeks, okay? I had the twins at 34 weeks. And so he was like, okay, so let's go ahead and just get you the epidural because you're in way too much pain. So, okay, y'all, this epidural, let me tell you, my first baby with Madison, I had the epidural and it did not hurt. Like, it was like the anesthesiologist was so gentle, really easy. They actually had me lean over the bed and hold on to Madison's dad while I was getting the needle stuck in my back. Well, this time he had me lay down. Another anesthesiologist, not the same one, had me lay down on my side while he do the procedure. When I tell you, this man hurt me so bad. It was the worst. I felt like he did not know what he was doing. I'm serious. Like, it shouldn't hurt that bad. It should not hurt bad at all. It's like getting an IV. It should not hurt like I'm over here having the baby already. That was the worst part. And so after that, I was okay. The medication started to work. I was able to calm down, but I still could feel the contractions. And my stomach was so big at that moment. And when it contracts, you know, it gets hard. And so it would take my breath away every single time. Like, I couldn't breathe. I would have to cough to get, you know, through the contractions. And so the doctor was like, okay, you're not dilating. This was hours later. You're not dilating. You are still in a lot of pain. I think we need to go ahead and just have a C-section to get the babies on out of there. I said, okay. I mean, whatever. I'm tired of being in pain at this point. It was like a week of being in pain, and I was over it. And so we went to the operating room. Parents were able to come with me. My aunt had just made it in town like a day before I gave birth. And she was there. The parents were the only ones that were able to come in the operating room. We get into the operating room. They take the babies and everything. Everything went well. Both A was a girl, and baby B was big baby boy. And so after that, so after you have a C-section, they take you into a recovery room. And so at that point, they have a nurse just sitting there monitoring you, make sure you're not hemorrhaging or anything like that. At that point, the nurse had like a weird face. Like, she was just looking like, oh, something's wrong. And I'm like, oh, okay. At that point, I'm still under the anesthesia. Nothing was bothering me. I felt fine. But then like 5 nurses and like 3 or 4 doctors came in. They rushed the parents out. They rushed my aunt out. They were like pumping on my stomach, and I didn't know what was going on at the time until I came to. You're kind of in and out while giving birth, especially having a C-section, just due to all the medication that they give you. And I was just in and out. I felt a lot of people around pumping, and I knew something was wrong after the lady, one of the nurses' arm was full of blood. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So they're pumping my stomach. One lady was going through the vagina. I know this TMI, but I'm just being honest. One lady was going through the vagina. Somebody was pumping on the stomach, and I'm just sitting there. At the time, it felt like a massage. I am not playing. Like, they was massaging, trying to get my cervix to contract. Is basically what they told me after the fact. Because it had stopped contracting and I started having a hemorrhage. They were like, she's losing a lot of blood. I can hear these things. It felt like I was there but not there at the same time. And they didn't want anybody around. So they made the parents go out. and made the my aunt go out. And so after that, they were pumping for about, I think it lasted about 30 minutes, my aunt said, after. And they were telling me, well, you lost about 3 liters of blood, and you know, and so we're gonna have to give you a blood transfusion. Well, they ran 2 bags really quickly through me. So I guess, I don't know, it was bad. And so of course, my sister lives in California. She's a nurse practitioner, and she was angry. She was like, how is this even possible? Which of course we know how it's possible, you know, things just happen. And I'm just blessed to still be here. Knowing that your body really just holds about 5 liters of blood, and I lost over half of that just in that 30 minutes was crazy. Also, it just kind of put in perspective that that was serious, and this is real. Birth is like so close to death. You need to just really be careful. And I never took it, you know, like a big deal, like, oh, just have the babies, go home. But that kind of brought into my mind, like, yeah, you really, girl, you looked up, okay? God was looking out for you. So then after they were able to get the hemorrhage to stop, I had to stay in the recovery room for a few more hours. They allowed my aunt to come back in, and by that time the parents had went down to the NICU with the babies just to check on them, see how they were doing and things like that. And so the nurse was saying, you know, thank goodness we were able to stop the hemorrhage, but we're gonna run these bag of blood really quickly. I think my sister was more upset with the fact that they ran the blood so fast. So usually it takes about 2 to 4 hours, between 2 and 4 hours to run like a liter of blood to you. But I got the 2 bags of blood in like 30-40 minutes, both of them. And so I guess, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't know. And so my sister, I had to get permission from my sister to speak to the nurse that was in there, because she just was so confused on why everything was going on. And she was like, yep, nope, you won't be doing this again. She was referred to like being a surrogate, but I feel like she's fine. She'll be fine. That was life-changing. So I stayed in the hospital like a lot of extra days just due to the hemorrhage. So they wanted to make sure my blood levels would go up. They wanted to make sure I didn't have any other complications, and they wanted to make sure I didn't start bleeding again. They did have to pump my stomach the next day just due to the amount of blood that I was losing again, just to make sure that I was contracting the right way. And it was a blessing to be able to go home and not have a baby to take home. Because I felt like I recovered quickly. I feel like it was faster than what it usually is. So overall, I mean, I am excited that this journey is over. Overall, I'm excited that I don't have any babies in me anymore, and I can continue to live my life and work out. I was telling some people yesterday that I really want to get down my weight. I have a goal that I have set for myself, and I really want to be able to reach that goal this year. And so I have about 15 pounds to lose to get to that goal, and I just need support. So say a prayer for your girl. Send it up. But yeah, that's my story. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Of course, I will let you know anything you would like to know. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a good day.